Recently, Playwright added the capability of using their framework through AI agents. You don't necessarily need to write code anymore. You just need to write a specific prompt of what you need to test using Playwright. Let me show you how this can be achieved. You've probably heard about Model Context Protocol, or MCP. If not, it's like a bridge between AI large language models and external systems. You spin up an MCP server which is able to give your LLM the full context for using an external system. Playwright has launched its own MCP server, which enables LLMs to call Playwright functions and interact with a browser using the Playwright framework. The way it works is the following. You have an agentic framework, such as GitHub Copilot, Gemini, or Claude. You give it a task, such as go to Google's website, search for a term, and bring me back the results. The LLM gets your request, and it knows that it needs a way to interact with the browser. Then it asks the Playwright MCP server how to do it, and Playwright will give it the functions it needs to call in order to be able to use the browser. After that, the agent calls the right functions and analyzes the returned web page to compile the final output. In this video, I will be showing a demo on how to install everything you need on Windows, Linux, or Mac to interact with GitHub Copilot and Gemini. Even though I will not cover Cursor, Windsurf, or Claude, you can still apply this knowledge for these agentic frameworks too, as the setup is almost identical. First, you need to run the latest MCP server from Playwright. Open your terminal and use the following command to do so: npx@playwright/mcp at latest. You can also give it a port, and the server will start running on that port. Next, you need to have some AI agentic framework installed. As I said previously, I am going to show you a demo through GitHub Copilot and Gemini CLI. Let's start with Copilot. I am using GitHub Copilot through Visual Studio Code. To install it, you need to add the dedicated Copilot extensions such as Copilot and Copilot Chat. Once you install these and link your GitHub account, you will be granted free credits to try this coding assistant out. Now you need to open GitHub Copilot Chat. Go to the search toolbar here and type the greater than sign and type Open Chat. You will see the chat window opening. Copilot can by default detect any running MCP server, so let's try to ask it to use the browser. Go to playwright.dev, which is the official website of Playwright, and get the title of the page. Press Enter, and you can see that the agent started working. This in particular is an easy task, but you can use the same technique to perform more complex tests. You just need to be explicit in the prompt. After some time, you will see your browser opening, and the website we've asked is going to open. We also see the title of the page displayed in the chat. For each action, you will notice that Copilot will ask for permissions. This is to stop the agent performing potentially damaging actions. You can analyze what is the description of the action that the agent plans to perform and decide for yourself if this is right or wrong. Alright, now that we've seen how Playwright's MCP works with Copilot, let's see the next one, Gemini. Gemini Agent is a CLI-based agent which is based on the Gemini 2.5 Pro. It has a generous free tier, and it's one of the best performing agentic frameworks out there. To use it, you need to have Gemini installed. I am not going to cover the installation in this video, but it's quite trivial. Once you install it, you need to add the link to the Playwright MCP server. Unlike Copilot, Gemini won't detect it automatically, so you need to go to the following locations on either Windows or Linux and change the settings JSON file. Add the following block into the settings file. This will instruct Gemini to use the latest version of Playwright's MCP server. Once you do that, let's start the agent. Type Gemini on your terminal. Next, let's see if the MCP server was added. If you type /MCP, you should see Playwright listed there. Now let's give it a task. I will ask it to open google.com, find the search bar, and type Playwright MCP, then press Enter. I will approve every action of the agent to have a more seamless demo. And after a while, we can see that the browser opens and the action we've requested is performed. We've now seen how to make use of AI agents to automatically perform front-end tests using Playwright through GitHub Copilot and Gemini Agent.